Hi guys, and welcome to Single, Married, Separated, Divorced, and Single Again. And for me, Jehovah, obviously, married again. Anyway, guys, today is actually because I know, like, I promised I think a month ago, we were talking about a conversation that I said is the most not talk about, especially amongst Christian, and I promised that I was gonna continue on that video, but I didn't get to. Your girl was on vacation. I've been vacationing ever since I got married. I've been on honeymoon ever since. So excuse me, because I have 4 channels, so it's not that easy to actually place so many videos on so many different channels. And the real reason behind me having 4 channels is because I realized I can never fit everything into one place. Like, I talk about God, I talk about dating, because at that time I was divorced, kind of like ready to mingle, and God just said, you know what, I'm gonna finish my girl, I'm gonna just bless her with a man so that she can continue doing her work, right? And then I also have like wanting to talk about things related to just like racism, and just like realizing how racism is actually I don't want to say exaggerated, but it doesn't. Maybe what I can say is that I usually say it on my channel, that when you look at racism, it's exaggerated in the sense of, like, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists, but the existence of it is it's almost like they put so much value on it that you miss the other things that they want you to forget, while doing the kind of like the black, white hate black and all that, and black people are not good, they don't know how to manage their lives and all that, and then they come with the women and versus men and all that. Those things exist, those problems exist between like men and women and black and white and all that and other races, but they are being exaggerated by the media so that you can just concentrate on that and forget about all the other things that actually matters more. So now I realize that what I need to bring forward most of the time is like like things, and I'm talking about my other channel, the Black Consciousness channel. Obviously I'm going to talk about that, so that's what I'm trying to say. Things like just bringing news of what's going on right now as we are speaking. There's many things that goes on in the world that we need to hear, that we need to concentrate on, and so on. And then on my other channel, I'm just doing very easy, straightforward exercises, and we go with the time and so on. And I always say stay consistent. So you see what I mean? I have 4 channels, so it's hard. But anyway, today we're going to talk about sacrifices in the marriage, and I'm going to use examples of what sacrifices might be, and so on, because sometimes people think that, but that doesn't look like a sacrifice. Who determined what looked like a sacrifice? A sacrifice is a sacrifice. It's something that you would normally not want to do, and you do it because you love the person or you want to compromise. So let's get started, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and push that notification button, because you don't really want to miss what's going on this channel. I don't think so. Okay, welcome back. As I say, this is Single, Married, Separated, Divorced, and Single Again, and obviously married again, depending. I actually wanted to add widowed, but I think all the tips that we give, it's probably included somehow. Widows can actually take some tips from there as well when they want to start dating again. It's not the same as when you are divorced, but it's still the same in the sense that now you're single and you have to raise children alone and so on. Anyway, to cut to the chase, so today we're going to talk about sacrifices, and I don't know whether I should say unfortunately, but I'm going to use my best friend example again. I mean, it means that she is doing a good job. I have no choice than using it. But I'm also going to use my own example. I don't think it's wrong to, well, obviously not so much me, although probably. So first of all, when you look at sacrifices in a marriage, because the thing is with marriages now, it's insane, because now people are getting into like, oh no, if he doesn't have money, I'm not gonna be with them, and all those kind of things. And I think I discussed that in some of my earlier videos about a man is supposed to be a provider and a protector, and provision means financially. However, if things are not, if things, let me say my husband has a business, right? He's a businessman by, by profession. And he's very, oh my God, he is extremely good. Like the way he does his things, like he's not afraid of anyone. Like, I don't know, like I've not met somebody who has the kind of like audacity, I would say. He's very audacious. Like the way he deals with things, it's almost like what they say, taking the bull by its horns. Like he's the kind of person that will walk into any place and just, start talking about business. He's not afraid. He's not like, I don't know, man, this guy. I sometimes struggle to keep up because I'm a woman of faith, but sometimes I can't keep up with him, because he will say things and I'm like, why do you say things like that as if you are God? But are we not supposed to say things as if, that we are standing for God as a representative, right? So I don't know, I think maybe I'm jealous a little bit. Anyway, so now when in that case, let me say his business is not doing well and so on, as a woman or as his wife, wouldn't I help him? I don't know, but I always say that a man, for me personally, I think when you grow older, as with age, as you become mature, there's things that you look at, and there's things that maybe you didn't look at when you were younger and so on. But also because when you are older, there's things that you can really like. I would not be able to have dated somebody who's really struggling because of where I am now. Like we're moving towards 50, like right now, right? So having to be in a relationship with somebody who completely struggles is gonna drain me. So in that sense, it now comes to a point where, okay, if his business is not doing well, then okay, I will be able to say, okay, let's do this and this. But eventually, I still believe that, okay, your husband, like, he is the provider. He is made a provider by God, not by you. It's not like we form this thing where, okay, you are the one deciding that. However, we also need to know, it depends on how sometimes, and different people have different perspective about what that means. But for example, I definitely believe that all the money that come into the household, it's a blessing from God. So it belongs to, like, it's going like that. However, women have more needs when it comes to, like, I want to do my hair. You can go and cut your hair for like $20. I need $100. So that's different. So a woman is supposed to have a different account, and we are the one like buying gifts for children and so on. So let me, even if we have like a combined account, let me have a different account where I can surprise the children, even surprise my husband. Anyway, now, so when it comes to sacrifices in a marriage, like I say, it depends on a lot of things. For example, when I started dating my husband, and now I'm making decisions or on the fact that, okay, am I going to date this man? Are we going to get married? Because remember, for me as a Christian, dating was eventually to get married later. I wasn't gonna date for you to test me and like, oh no, and for me, it wasn't gonna be like a date of 2 years, because you know what? I believe 110% that when somebody knows you are the one, he doesn't even need like more than 3 months to decide you are the one. I'm sorry to say that, especially an alpha omega male. My husband is actually kind of an omega alpha male, because remember we talk about an alpha male like strong and whatever. An omega is kind of a little bit soft-hearted. So I think my husband is an alpha mixed with omega, much more omega. Now, having said that, as I was saying, in that case, he will know whether he wants you or he doesn't want you. Forget about this nonsense where like, oh no, let's see how it goes and let's see where it takes us. It's absolute nonsense, okay? Because these are things or phrases that usually come from a hyena type of man. And I think we discussed hyena already. I have a lot of videos that I discuss and describe what a hyena man would be and the signs of a man being a hyena. So that's the kind of person that we want to wait for how many years. Most of the men that I know that are maker, especially the alpha, honestly speaking, they don't take that long to actually decide or know that this is a person they want to settle with. And even me as an alpha female, I definitely will know immediately whether I want to settle down with you or not. So with my husband and I, we have to come to a conclusion of, okay, what's going to happen, because he has 4 children in SA and 1 child is in Mozambique. Now we have to decide, because I'm Namibian, I'm in Canada, and he is Cameroonian and he was based in South Africa. Now, there's many things when it comes to, like, for example, and I don't want to go in details about it, but when it comes to like baby mamas and all that, actually baby mamas can actually create problems that you and your husband will not even have the peace to even be able to bring these children that are going to be like your other children, obviously. Because the thing with me, I don't believe in like stepfather, stepmother, no. Like when those kids come to visit, they become my children. And I'm very good with children. So I didn't want this thing where the children come and visit me, and now when they go back to mommy, maybe they're going to complain that, oh no, like, I didn't want to create that type of jealousy where there's like things that, oh no, maybe I took the children out and now they want to come back. Because I know how I'm very nurturing as a mom. So I know that kids love me, even kids that are not, my kids and so on. So I didn't want that. So I had to make a decision. So I said that I'm Namibian, you're Cameroonian, and I'm in Canada, you're in South Africa. So what we're going to do is you're going to go back to Cameroon. And remember, this man has been there for almost 14 years or 15 years. Because remember I said I met him some years ago before I met my back then husband, whom I'm now divorced to. And then we just, things didn't work out. And I think I have another video that I will I think I made it. Or if I haven't, I will probably come back with that. Because it's good to know things, right? Anyway, so, yeah. So in that sense, I said, okay, go back to your country and I will, because the thing with him is when we met 14 years ago, when I told him that, you know what, I want to go to Canada, if you want, come with me and so on. He was very skeptic. He didn't want it to come to Canada. I don't know why. But it wasn't one of the reasons why it didn't work out, because that was by the way anyway. I think I said it, he was obsessed with, I felt like he was obsessed with me. And back then, obsession was actually kind of compared to, like a lot of things that weren't good. But now that I got to know him now, I realized that no, this guy actually adored the ground I'm walking on. It wasn't obsession, it was just love, but in a high dimension, which is a good thing. But having said that, I'm still happy that it didn't work out. We got to get to know a lot of other people, and now we appreciate each other very much. Like TDJ say that you got to meet all the wrong people in your life to appreciate the right person. So I guess that's probably it. Anyway, having said that, so he wasn't so much into wanting to come to Canada, and because of that, I told him that, okay, you will go back to Cameroon and I will come and meet you there, and then we'll see how life goes. We can, obviously, because he said that in Cameroon there's a lot of chances to like kind of buy a farm and then build a business from like maybe mangoes, avocados, especially avocados. So we agree on that. So, and now you need to know that I'm in Canada. So now when it comes to the going back to South Africa, you need to remember that he has been there for 14 years. He has built a life. He has businesses. He has a security business. He has a real estate. And at the time we actually found out that he's going to have to close his real estate, because you can sell houses from another place in another place, because you have to showcase. Because most of the time when I call, he'll be like, oh no, I'm somewhere, I'm showcasing a house and so on. Now he has to, and actually the funny thing about this is that I told him that, by the way, as we are deciding, because I think at that moment it was one of those things where you just throw the net to see whether it will catch the net, and you kind of don't mind. I was obviously in love with him, but I wasn't like into him in that much that if he decided that he was not gonna go to Cameroon, I was gonna like feel bad and so on. I was just gonna decide that I'm just not gonna date him, So when I throw the net, and I told him, actually I gave him a week to think about it and so on, because I realized it's a very important decision. However, the next day he came back and he said, I'm going back. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this guy is really, oh my God, he knows what he wants. Because I was not obviously going to take no for an answer, but I wasn't really like pressing him. But it's just a decision that I take. I don't want to be in a situation where, especially now that I'm mature and I look at things differently, and I know how people get involved into things where you end up being killed, and now your children lost you, and the person that killed you, their children has a mom or a father and so on. So I didn't want it to be involved where, things like that could happen, because the thing is, the mother of his 3 children was not really over him, like there were things that I could, like sense and so on, like he told me. And the thing is, remember, they were over for a year before I even joined, before we even, started dating and so on. So I wasn't gonna, and although I tried to like kind of encourage him to go back with her and so on, because the mother of your children, I realized that I have no way of having to decide on his behalf. He's an adult. And just as much as, can he now tell me to go back to my ex? Because that's almost the same. That's what I was saying. Like, go back to your ex. It's almost like you're gonna think that I didn't make the right decision not to be with that person. I know maybe why I made that decision. So that was with him as well. Like, why do you want me to go back as if you are the one who, who's the cause of this? This is something that has happened before you even came into my life. It's only because you came back to my life the right time. That's all. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, I felt like he sacrificed even more, because remember, he went to South Africa knowing that his lawyer told him that you can never be able to go back if you leave South Africa now, because he has his business permit and so on, which was gonna kind of expire soon and so on. So he was gonna be, by the time he's in Cameroon, it was not gonna even happen. But he has decided that he will go. So that was a big sacrifice, to be quite honest. The reason it was a bigger sacrifice than mine is because I'm still here. I can decide not even to join him. And the funny thing about it, when I was supposed to fly to Cameroon, my flight, I didn't know that I needed a visa, so I was actually sent, like I was not allowed to board. And then the funny thing about it is that most of the people back there, except for his mom and a few family members, were saying that lady is not coming, she just played with you. Can you imagine? So I'm like, so what did you say, sweetheart? And it's like, I knew that you would come. I know you, because you and me, we are the same. So I knew that there's no way that you will do that, you will come. So so I went. Before that, even he traveled, and then he started talking to my dad about Lombola. I think Lombola, for those who don't know, is dowry. That's what a marriage is to us. Our marriage is actually dowry. When you pay dowry in an African society, that is marriage. That's a marriage. The other thing is just a wedding, like a celebration after one. So we did that, the traditional marriage, and then we, all those things. But then obviously, now obviously we know that, okay, like, I also went there. But even when I came back after, we got married, most people still were telling him things like, oh no, maybe she's faking it, she's not gonna come back. And that is the thing. Sacrifices sometimes is a risk, because when they are saying that, maybe they don't mean bad, because there's some people who did that to other people. I remember that somebody was telling me that, oh no, it's, to be quite honest, for him to trust you that much, it means he really, really know you, and you're just a good woman. Because there's a woman who told, I think she was staying in Australia, and the guy was staying in America, and she told him to go back to Nigeria, and that guy went back, and she never left because now she changed her mind, and that guy committed suicide, because that's, like taking my life away from me. Anyway, now you might think, like, why is it a sacrifice if somebody go back to their own country? I mean, that's your country. It's a sacrifice because the reason they are not in their own country, it's because maybe their own country is not doing that well in comparison to the country they're in. Because if you're going to ask me that question, I'm going to ask you, why are you in Canada? Except for all the things that you're afraid of. Like, very well that you can willingly want to go back to where you are coming from, right? Let's not even do that, okay? The friend of mine that I wanted to use is a friend of mine, Pastor Emma, and her husband. And Pastor Emma might not know this because I never even told her, but some people were actually thinking that, her husband probably is with her because he wants to come to Canada. And obviously, even though I didn't know him that well at that moment, when you meet someone, you can almost sense in their spirit who they are. So I knew, like, Pastor Seth, paper is nothing to him. Pastor Seth, actually, he didn't even have, like I say, my husband has a business permit. Pastor Seth was not even like that. Pastor Seth has a permanent residence in South Africa, so he could as well, stay, he could, but he also sacrificed and went back to Ghana, where he's from, and Pastor Emma left here and went back to Ghana. Now they have been living for, I think, 6 years. Pastor E said 6 years or 7 years in Ghana. So those people that were acting like, oh no, maybe it's for papers, now I'm wondering where they are. And I'm very good. Maybe I'm bad like that. But one of those people that were saying that years ago, and maybe they mean well, sometimes it's just being worried about your sister and so on. I went back to them and say, what do you have to say now? They've been there for 5 years now. Like back then when I went back to the person, it was 5 years. You see? So can you see how authentic that person is? Sometimes we think that, oh, because the person wants this and this. It's not true. Those people have sacrificed. Pastor he has sacrificed Canada for her husband, and he sacrificed South Africa for his wife. I have to call it a sacrifice because, we know that Ghana is not, although Ghana is peaceful, obviously, but when it comes to things, it's expensive and so on. So South Africa at that moment for, Pastor said was probably better. But now, that's what we think sometimes. Now they're actually doing way better. They have a church and all that. Pastor, yeah, I'm actually coming to visit you. Anyway, with that, what I wanted to say is that sacrifices in marriage is very good, because right now my husband's sacrifice has been there, and he's so lonely. Like every time when I call, like when I'm like, how are you? I'm not good because you're not next to me. I'm not good because you're not next to me. You're not next to me. So now I'm tired of this. Like I'm good, but you're not next to me. So I'm like living here like a zombie. I miss you and so on. Even though we have many things to do, like at the farm and so on, he misses his wife, that physical contact that we share, right? So now your girl have decided that, you know what? I am going to my baby. So I'm going soon, guys. This is probably just, I actually recorded a video when I went to one of the places that I used to go with my son and so on. And, like it was kind of like a, should I say, a video that, for my husband, just to say that I'm coming soon, baby. I'm coming. Anyway, so today was just to say what sacrifices in marriage mean, and how important it is to compromise, to meet each other halfway. This one do this and this one do this. And for me, to be quite honest, I just didn't want to deal with a lot of like problems, like, oh no, the baby mama did this and all that. I'm like, staying far away, and being able to meet the children, having the children over for vacation or whatever that may be, whether the children are going to be with us or whatever that is, that's way better than. In South Africa, for me, I didn't feel safe to be able to be there when I know that his ex is still into him, and I'm not, going to judge all South African women, but there's a lot of things that, that we heard South African women did to foreigners, to their foreign men and so on. It's not everybody, but you can just put your life at stake because you don't know what that person is capable of. And obviously we know a lot of things that happen to foreigners, even when it comes to xenophobic attacks and so on. So I was just very, very careful putting my life at stake when I have children that I need to be a mom to. So I said, you know what, that's it. So guys, we are coming to the end of it. Next week, definitely I will follow up with the video about part 2 of sex to a man is oxygen. Okay, so without wasting any time, from me, Jehovah, take care guys, bye. Don't forget to push that notification button so that every time we upload a new video, you're ahead of your game. Okay, bye.